No, bro, it's starting to feel like every time I get a chance to make Stephen a video and I can give some positive insight, I gotta double back and make one of these type videos. One of these videos where I just gotta shake my head at Stephen A. because, man, what do we? So I know everybody's been hearing about all this hoopla between Stephen A. Smith and Terrell Owens, and pertaining to a comment Terrell Owens made about Stephen A. Terrell Owens said something on the lines of Max Kellerman is blacker than Stephen A. during a segment that the three of them were commentating on about, what was the segment about? Colin Kaepernick. And, Stephen A. was just taking up a position that I 100% don't disagree with, as far as, the Kaepernick stuff. But then Terrell Owens proceeds to say that, Max Kellerman is blacker than Stephen A. because Max took a more liberal, historic take on the Colin Kaepernick situation than Stephen A. did. And y'all forgive me, I don't know exactly the talking points that were surrounding those two talking points. I just know that the end result came with Terrell Owens saying that Max Kellerman was blacker than Stephen A. Smith. And then Stephen A. Smith had been on a little salty tirade and all that kind of stuff. We know how he get down. And then following all of this activity, Stephen A. goes on to, I believe it was the Joe Budden podcast, and he kind of throws Max under the bus, saying that, he was just kind of throwing more dirt on Max's name. I don't want to say throwing him under the bus. He was just throwing more dirt on that Max's name due to the fact that Max was let go from ESPN and all that kind of stuff. But fast forward to now, Stephen A. has been talking about, him and Terrell Owens have been going back and forth about Stephen A. talking about he was going to expose Terrell Owens. It's just a situation, y'all. I'm sorry. It's all over the place. I refrained from making a video about it at first because, it's been so many Stephen A. Smith headlines this summer. That is ridiculous. I mean, the man has had a busy summer. He's just been all in the headlines. I believe the last time I made a video about Stephen A., I was giving him his flowers on the Shannon Sharp edition to ESPN First Take. From the looks of it, it just felt like to me that Stephen A. was giving Shannon Sharp an opportunity of opportunities. Come to find out, there's more to the Shannon Sharp story, which we did a video on, I want to say last week sometime. So basically, it's just been a whole bunch of mess. And now, I kind of wanted to give my commentary on it because I've been listening to some cats on YouTube, kind of give their takes and say their piece about it. Me, I'm going to just say this, man. Like I told y'all before, Stephen A. Smith is a guy that I either 100% agree with or 1,000% disagree with. And I 1,000% disagree with him on this situation. I also listened to Marcellus Wiley, his show. He has a good show. I've just been kind of catching up to him and watching a lot of his content nowadays. I haven't followed him since he first began this. I know that Marcellus Wiley has worked with ESPN, he's worked with Fox, all the big dogs. But all that to be said, I've heard everybody's opinion on it, and me personally, like I say, I disagree with how Stephen A. is moving. Because Stephen A. comes off as this super confident, this super guy with all the answers. He kind of tells everybody that nothing bothers him, nothing flusters him. But then every time somebody says something about him, or every time you find yourself in some kind of hot water, he acts insecure. He acts flustered and he acts bothered. And shout out to 78 Sports. He made a good point about Stephen A. does that whole, I'm a brother stuff. And then as soon as he get into some kind of trouble, he turn on us. And then he starts saying stuff about, this is black people's fault because they too sensitive. I've heard him say that line a few times, and all that kind of stuff. But all in all, Stephen A. Smith, man, this dude just can't stay out of the media for one reason or the other. And like I said, I don't agree with this, with how he's been moving, with how he's been talking about Max. 1,000% disagree with this. And it just kind of I'm noticing something, man. I kind of miss ESPN when Max was there. I do. I kind of miss when Max would balance Stephen A's hoopla and entertainment with some kind of logic, some dope facts. And then, Max was known for his throwing a random rap lyric, a Biggie line or a Jay-Z line in the middle of a sports take. I kind of enjoyed that as well as a Jay-Z fan, or formerly known as a Jay-Z fan. I don't listen to too much music as much as I used to back in the days, but I used to know all of the Biggie bars and all of the Hove bars and all of the Lil Wayne bars, all that kind of stuff. So I enjoyed when the Max would throw a random, rap line in the middle of a sports take. And not only that, like I said, I enjoyed the balance that Max gave, that Max brought to the show, in counter to Stephen A. Because we all remember when Skip was there, Skip wasn't, even to this day, Skip doesn't impart much feedback, as far as another person's sports take and all that kind of stuff. Skip won't rebuttal you point for point. He'll say what he says. He'll say the other team play harder than, he'll, do a lot of capping and a lot of trolling, whatever. But Max actually came to the show with some substance. I wasn't as deep as a modern day boxing fan until Max came to the show. And then he would do his interviews with Bud Crawford and, all these guys or whatever. And I enjoy his takes, his insight on boxing. Now, I knew Max's voice from, watching boxing matches, the big matches when they came up, or, just listen to some boxing media from time to time. I also know that him and Marcellus Wiley had a show for some time. Can't remember if that was on ESPN or Fox, but I was familiar with Max. But like I said, when he got to ESPN, I began to enjoy him, his takes. Now, like I said, Max was a little bit more liberal, and sometimes he'd jump off the bridge with some of his takes. But for the most part, a pretty decent sports analyst. And, with me researching and looking into this situation, watching some old Max Kellerman clips and all that stuff, it made me really kind of miss ESPN when Max was on the show. Because Stephen A. is a lot of bombast, a lot of, flash, if you will. Stephen A., he can talk some basketball, he can talk some football for the most part, but he don't really impress you with the substance that he's bringing. And another thing I'm getting tired of him doing, this whole expose. Every time he get into it with somebody, he's talking about he's going to expose Terrell Owens. And then I watched this show. I think it was Monday. I watched it. He just said a bunch of random stuff. You know what I mean? It wasn't even like no exposing. It was, I know you did this, and I can talk to this. We all know his grift, man. He every time he gets into it with somebody, he running around talking about, excuse me, yo. You talking about he gonna expose somebody? Like, cut it out. Just cut it out, Stephen A. But regardless, man, like I say, what I'm noticing is that Stephen A. Smith is very insecure, man. And what really brought it out, it was two situations. One, I noticed it a long time ago. Not even a long time ago, but I noticed it when Terrell Owens, said that Max was blacker than Stephen A. I seen that live. I didn't really look too much into it. I thought it was like, kind of funny to me. I know Stephen A. got all offended. Because he's supposed to be more brother man than a brother man. And here go Terrell Owens talking about the other man, this more brother man, that probably touched him. That probably touched the chord. But even more so than that, I noticed that when Quavo came to ESPN, and shout out to 78 Sports again, bro. Big Bro was on this one. But I remember seeing this clip, and I remember this vividly, bro. Like, he was describing it. I remembered it. Because Stephen A. was, and I made a visual. Like, this is the little pic art of it. I remember the camera kind of fanned to him real quick, and he made this face. I think this is the exact moment that the camera panned to Stephen A. as Kendrick Perkins, Quavo, and Max was all having their little dialogue about Quavo and Kendrick Perkins' Twitter beef. And this is the face, because Stephen A. was just so jealous. Stephen A., he just, ESPN First Take is my show. He wakes up every day trying to please the bosses. He was utterly upset that these guys was able to put together an entertainment segment and it didn't involve him. And you could tell. And at that moment, like my boy 78 said, you could tell that Max his days was numbered. You know what I mean? I think Max, he ended up working on the show a little bit longer after that, but you can certainly tell Stephen A. was jealous. Stephen A. wanted to be the man on the show, all that stuff, and the fact of the matter that they had a special guest come up, and this dude was more, the segments or the times that he was talking to the co-host, it was more entertaining than he was when he was talking to actually Stephen A., the host. So, all in all, my take on it is that Stephen A. is very insecure, man. I really tried to give him his flowers last week when, I said that, he's a pioneer in the game and all that kind of stuff. And he still is. He still is. But Stephen A., he takes one step forward and then he takes 5 steps back. You know what I mean? It's just, like, just brother, stay out of the way, man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know what to say. Because I don't feel the same way about Stephen A. as I do Skip. I feel like Skip, if he retired today, perfect. You know what I'm saying? Happy. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't got to listen to the more Skip Bayless takes. That's fine with me. I was watching something actually on Instagram, going through some reels. And a Skip Bayless reel or post came up. And I tried to listen to it, bro. I gave it a couple minutes. I just scrolled. I usually try to listen to all sports videos from start to finish, just so I can, soak up all of the information I possibly can. And Skip Bayless is still a notable voice in the game, but I don't care. I just don't care. I don't care what he's talking about. Yeah, man. But I don't feel the same way about Stephen A. When Stephen A. talks, I still feel compelled to listen. You know what I mean? I definitely love it when he's insightful and he's dropping information in that way. But the whole getting, like I say, him exposing people, him getting into it, him throwing dirt on people's names, it's just really showing me that Stephen A. ain't the confident, quote unquote relaxed dude that he comes off as. You know what I mean? He's starting to look very insecure and very bad out here. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's just my take on it. Y'all tell me what y'all think about it. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content on this channel. I thank y'all for your love and support. Keep your boy humbled and motivated. Y'all the bosses. I'm the dude that love to work, so let me get back to work. Peace.